the one source, Sports Card Nation. The hobby is the people. Sports Card Nation.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 396 of Sports Card Nation. As we approach episode 400, we're going to do a giveaway for 400. I don't know yet exactly, but it will be decent. Got to, get a prize pack together and probably use listening to the podcast as a way to win. Why not reward someone putting in the time and effort? So look forward to that. I want to thank our great sponsors that make 400 episodes potentially possible in no particular order. SGC, Iron Sports Cards, Sports Collectors Digest, Hobby Hotline, Upper Deck, Card Ladder, and the Certified Trading Card Association. Check out all those great sponsors and what they do. You can find them on our sponsors page on our website with direct links to them as well. All right, part two of our interesting conversation with Matthew and Garrett Weaver of the Baseball Card General Manager game. And they invented the game that you play with your own baseball cards of any sort. Could be, pre-war, long as there's stats on the back, you can use them. And you can build your own teams. You can create your own matchups, and just really cool. And I really do believe most baseball card collectors played some sort of baseball game, whether it be Straight-O-Matic or the show on, PlayStation or, Nintendo or wherever. I think a lot of us are collectors because we're baseball fans. Sure, that's not 100%. I know it's not 100%, but I think that percentage is high. And so Matt and Garrett are back this week, part two of that conversation about how they came up with this great game that can be played by anyone with any cards with stats on it. So we're about to start for part two. If you didn't catch part one, you're only a week behind. Just go back a week and check that out as well. I get it. I'm teaching at the high school level, and we got Nintendo Switches and all these other systems. But I love a great board game, right? A really great board game never goes out of style, right? Monopoly comes to mind. But then when you factor in like sports, or in this case baseball, in a board game, and the fact that you cared enough, guys, right, to do 20, like go through 20 versions till you were like satisfied with like, hey, this gives the best realistic feel to the game. That to me, that just shows how much you care about that, how much pride you put into that final product. With 20 versions, like from going from one to the next, is it like a day, or it depends on what you're tweaking?
Well, sometimes it might be that one of that versions may last a week, because it all depends how many times we got to test it. Sometimes we do print it out the next day. So, it really was 6 months of the journey. Literally just a piece of paper with that grid.
More than 6
months. And that was it. And now it's just us rolling dice and putting it on the table. We didn't have anything else because we didn't think we needed it. I didn't play Stratomatic as a kid,
I don't.
And Garrett doesn't, obviously.
Yeah.
But that's sort of, we did want to be, I felt like it was important enough that the stats were replicating it enough that those kinds of folks could appreciate it, right? Like, it's not a perfect simulator, but
yeah,
there's enough effort put in to go, look, that's true enough to the game that makes you feel like it's not just a made up game. There really is something there, and you say about board games, it's, you're right, with so much of Nintendo and Major League the show and all this other stuff going on. Like we call this sort of like an analog fantasy game. It's good old fashioned family time. We play it in the morning before we go to school because what do you do between 6 o'clock when he wakes up and 7:30 we had to get out the door? Well, let's play a game of baseball card GM. It's not watching TV. It's not playing a video game, but you're learning about baseball. You're using all the baseball stats. So it is. It's like fantasy baseball. Fantasy baseball meets video games, meets actual baseball cards in history, right? And you're looking apart from the person and they hit a home run and he rolls a home run roll and you walk it off in the ninth and you go, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. But that's the fun. It's you just stole a base to, get out of a double play. That's those moments. It's just like real baseball. It's like that.
So speaking, you mentioned stolen bases. So how does that work? I don't want to give away all the secrets, but do you have to declare I want him to steal and then you roll to find out the outcome of the attempt? Is that how it goes?
I want to attempt to steal with who do I have here?
Don't worry about who you have. It doesn't matter.
Let's say.
So you'll say,
Ricky
I want
Henderson.
to steal with Ricky Henderson, and instead of Tim Raines, Rock Raines. There you go. You steal with Rock Raines, and you're playing when Rock Raines. You were playing with 1983 Rock Raines, and he had how many stolen bases?
90.
He had 90 stolen bases. So we have on the board is look if you stole 0 to 10 bases, say you're going to be you have to roll a 1 and a 2 to be safe, otherwise you're out. So the odds of rolling
if you roll a 6, you're out, and that's it.
Right. So for Rock Raines,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you're safe.
Because he had so many stolen bases, his cutoff means he's going to be safe 5 out of 6 times. He's going to be safe. So it sort of progresses down. So you can steal with someone who doesn't steal a lot of bases. Just the odds are you're probably more likely to get out than not.
So in other words, where I'm going, if John Kruk's on first base, you're probably not sending.
He's out. He's probably going to be out. More likely than not, he's going to be out. You're not. You want to send Lenny Dykstra. You don't want to send John Kruk.
I use Kruk because I still play men's competitive softball, and that's like my softball nickname, like
John Kruk.
Like Krucky. So when I'm playing, when I'm in full uniform and the whole nine. But and he was. Listen, I know he still does some broadcasting, and he's a Phillies legend. Just his antic. He was a heck of a hitter. He's a 300. Yeah. But everyone remembers the Randy Johnson at bat and all that funny. And he is a hilarious guy. But the guy he didn't look like me. He didn't have that body type that makes you think baseball player, but he could hit. So we love. I mean, first, he was the guy who came up with the expression. I'm not an athlete. I'm a baseball player, right? Yeah.
Well, aren't baseball players?
That was the joke. The joke was that because he's not an athlete baseball player. But all of the stuff that goes into when you look at cards, and Garrett opens up those old cards from the 80s, 90s, even from those 70s guys, and they got the big old mustaches and the mutton chops and the afros and the mullets. And they go, and you look at them and go, that was just the era.
That A's team in the 70s.
That A's team,
Their hair was disgusting.
Or the Raleigh Fingers, mustaches. Those are all part of this too. There's so much in a baseball card. And
you learn, right? You learn all that fun stuff, right? Even beyond the stats, right? From using the cards, you get to know what these guys look like or their styles. And some of those styles no longer exist. Some of them do, or some of them are tweaked a little bit. If you see Raleigh today, he's still got the mustache in his.
Does he really?
70s. So yeah. So he's not giving it up. That's like his trademark. So
yeah.
And I actually met him a few years back at Cooperstown, by the way. So really nice guy. But I love that about the game because there's so much positive to it, right? The educational part, the learning what these guys did, what they look like. And then it's your own game, right? You're bringing your card. So it's promoting the hobby too, because you can bring, if you want to go new school and use today's baseball players, or you want to go old school and use yesteryear's, or a combination of both, right? You've got so many, you can go in whatever direction you want to go with it. And And again, when we talk about some of those previous games, right, you didn't have that option. You only could play with what they gave you. And in those parameters, you're sort of
You're very
boxed in.
Yeah.
You know,
I think the freedom is part of, I think, what kids really appreciate about it is that fantasy freedom of being really to mix it up, do whatever you want, how you want to do. And what I like about it so far is making use of cards is, it's not about chasing signatures and autos and 101 because those cards don't have stats. It's the bulk common.
Useless.
Yeah, it's the base cards.
Yeah.
It's the base cards.
It's the base cards, the core set. The thing that people used to just love and collect, the core set, basic, common cards.
I love it.
Career. A rookie card doesn't have the stats. I don't want that card.
Useless.
I don't need the $700 card. I need the 70-cent card.
Sometimes
sometimes there are a couple of months, but when we go to a card show or a card shop, what we like to we're hitting those 50-cent racks.
Yeah,
because
I only saw one of them.
We want those. We want those.
to.
We want those. We want to find that like Lou Gehrig recreation card because it's worth nothing to you, but it had the 27 stats on it. And the 27 stats are great for the game.
He's the best player in the game.
Right.
Lou Gehrig.
Lou Gehrig 1927.
So far.
In that, because in that year he
maxed out.
Maxed out stat.
Except for walks. He was one-off walks.
But
that was one of the greatest seasons in baseball history.
Yeah, we actually have that in the Conley collection. We have 27 Yankees.
And the 16 Braves. Red Sox with.
Yeah. So I don't know, sort of that idea that you're finding new value in those sort of cards that a lot of people just think are cheap.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love that aspect. I think there's just so many positives from, again, education, making those base cards matter, the fun of it, right? You can bring your own cards. You're not like in that box where you're at the mercy of the game manufacturer. You can bring your own lineup. I love it.
Time for a quick break, but we'll be right back.
When you're dealing with sports cards, guessing isn't a strategy. A strategy requires relying on accurate data that you can trust. That's why the hobby uses Card Ladder. Card Ladder provides hundreds of millions of historical prices going back over 20 years, plus real-time tracking of comps from across the hobby as they happen. We track sales from every major platform while working together with marketplaces and grading companies to provide the most reliable data in the industry. Card Ladder's research team carefully vets millions of transactions. We provide dozens of category indexes and thousands of player indexes to help you get a big picture view of the market. With Card Ladder, you can look up prices for any card in any grade, track and manage your collection in real time, and study industry-wide metrics, all to enhance your collecting experience. Ready to level up your hobby? Go to cardladder.com right now. Tap Try It for free or get started today.
Thanks for sticking with us. Let's return to the show.
So, Garrett, are you a baseball player yourself?
Yeah, I am.
So is this something like teammates and you have played or not yet? Like where?
Well, we've played it a few times. We've played it at some tournaments mid games.
We're not in between games. In between games.
Not in the middle of the game.
Not in the game, right?
I don't know if the coach would be a big fan.
Probably not a good thing for the coach. Yeah, if you're doing for coaching. Yeah.
Hey Garrett, you're up. You got to put the.
What do you mean? I got to roll. I got Jimmy Fox. It's great for tournament baseball kids or baseball kids. You got the long days and you say, man, I got 3 hours in between a game.
Yeah,
we've had kids roll out the game. They bring their cards everywhere. Kids bring their cards everywhere.
Did we have like a 6-hour break?
We had a
6-hour break.
Too. There's another perk just from this conversation too, right? That builds chemistry with mates. Anytime you do, listen, I'm a baseball kid. I still play men's softball, and I played travel back in my day, in my heyday, right? And you build natural chemistry from playing a season with your teammates, right? But I think you even build more chemistry when you're doing like non-baseball playing stuff besides the games on the field are what they are. That just builds natural chemistry. I think you become tighter knit when you're doing stuff other than, baseball on the field. Like even in the big leagues, right? In the clubhouse, they're playing poker or card games or what have you, right? And they're building that sort of rapport with each other and chemistry, right? So I think this is another thing, right? You mentioned like families playing this together, right? It doesn't have to just be little league baseball teams or high school, but that's great. I love that aspect. So there's just so many different positives to it, guys, that you probably weren't thinking about all of them at the time when you were designing this. It just naturally occurred, right?
That's exactly what happened. That's exactly right. We were just we had a very simple question: how do I play my baseball cards? And we solved it. And what's happened now is people have taken onto it and realized these other things, right? The nostalgia element and opening old packs and rediscovering, or man, I'm spending time with my kids again and I'm getting them off TV and off video games and I'm playing games with them again. Or man, I'm doing this as a unity thing for teammates, or I'm taking them to schools. A school right here in our area bought a few games. TPS. They bought a few games, and they're for middle school, and they're doing a little class on it because they're learning statistics. It fits into so many different worlds, and any joy we can give is like any joy we can give is great. Whatever that joy is, go for it.
Yeah, checks a lot of boxes, guys. It just has so many positives and really zero negatives as far as I'm concerned. And like you mentioned, statistics are like you can go to college and get a PhD in statistics. The hobby has someone who's very famous for that, and Dr. James Beckett. So, so there's just so many different great things with it, right? And so kudos to you guys. For again, it's easy. Like I don't want to say it's not easy, but you could have made one version and said, "Hey, here's our game," right? But you cared enough to say, "Hey, we wanna make the best game we can make, and if it takes 20 versions or 20 drafts, then so be it." And then here it is, right? And you're at a little league game, and the rains come, and you got to get underneath the the awning, right? Break out the game and until the rain delay is over. The rain won't stop that game unless it's really windy. The cards are, but so like, how's it? I mean, I can even see this, like, you see like some of the, we talked about Pokemon earlier or Magic together. They have like tournaments. Is that something maybe you hope to see with this game? Is maybe have some like tournament level?
Yeah, I think I would love to see it.
I would, but like
competitively.
Not in our area. I wouldn't say enough.
No, you don't know yet. I think because it does feel so much like a TCG, because you are on a play mat, you're playing out your cards, and you're bringing your collections, or you're cracking new packs, you're drafting. It's really ripe for that kind of competitive environment where people really do, you pay in and you grab some packs and maybe you ante up your best card. Whoever wins gets that card. But it would be great to have that world where you owned a card shop. Maybe not, back in your day, maybe Pokemon and Magic the Gathering weren't quite coming on now. But now you go to a card shop, it's always the sports card folks in the front counters, and then all the people in the back are playing Magic or Pokemon, and you sort of look over and go, I don't know what they're into. I have no idea what their world is, like what's going on with them. But the worlds could collide because card shops now, they have them both, and they want to have both.
And if you have the room, if you're a card shop and you have the room to make both sides of the aisle happy, right? Have a whatever non-sports trading card game tournament, and have the general manager baseball tournament. Have them at the same time, right?
Yeah.
And it really shows both sides. Like, hey, there's room for everybody. That builds that sort of camaraderie. Well, listen. Well, let me ask you this one more question before we kind of, and I know you guys are baseball at heart. Has doing this, has a light bulb come on maybe to make a football version, a basketball,
hockey or something?
It has came up, but the stats are not physically it's possible. It's like really difficult to have them do actions.
Right.
Yeah.
Out of them.
No.
Baseball's so literal. The stat is literal. It's like I hit a triple.
Yeah.
I know what happens. He goes to third, and that guy moves it over.
Yeah.
Whereas basketball cards, it's like you shot a shot or you shot a shot. And
and how do you work like passing in there?
Yeah, you don't really know what, or hockey.
Yeah. I get it. It's
it's like it doesn't.
It's not conducive. It's not conducive to how you would
to how physically how the game works. But maybe it makes baseball so unique. It's like all those stats on the card really are telling you very specific things that you can almost picture in your head. And believe me, people ask all the time. You're not the first people to say, "Oh man, you should make this for hockey cards." And maybe we do. I don't know. But the way I think it's just sort of that you don't really, it's just like it's not the way those sports work, where you lay out the lineup and you have sort of that one-on-one nature of it.
Yeah, baseball really is more designed for this kind of game than some of the other sports. I'd probably put football as probably the next thing. If you were to do another one, football maybe could be done because if you're the quarterback, you could say, hey, I'm going to hand it off to this running back and then see what the outcome is, or I'm going to pass and then, that sort of thing.
And you see how far it goes.
Yeah. And baseball, even though it's 9v9, it's really 1 versus 1 in the moment, that pitcher and the batter. And then depending on what the ball's in play, that's when everyone else comes into focus. So it makes more sense to, you know what I mean, to do it with baseball. It plays a lot easier, smoother, and that's right. I get it. But something to think about, maybe a football. I would, if I'm ranking them in terms of like what would be a different sport that could be possible, I probably would put football as number 2 after that. Because you are, as the quarterback or the coach in the sense, you determine like, hey, we're going to pass on this play.
Right.
It's 2nd and 9, we're passing. It's 3rd and 1, we're running, and that sort of thing. So, but again, to come up with that, guys, and to do it to that level with that attention to details, kudos to you guys for putting in the work, and love to see it. Love the fact that, in this digital age, right, where and I get it, but that kids are on their game systems a lot, or their phones, right, that we can still have things like this and keep our attention. And then again, be educational at the same time as fun, right? A lot of times we always think education and fun are like 2 separate things, but they can be both. And I think this game checks off both boxes. So congrats, guys. As always, I give the guests sort of the final word, where people can pick up the game, websites, social media, anything you want to direct people to. Take your time and get that information out.
To get to our website, it's www.baseballcardgm.com.
It's that simple. That's where you can buy it online, and we've shipped all over America, literally.
We are intercontinental.
Yes, we've sold to not only every state in the United States. We've also sold online. We've also sold to Australia, Canada, England. We're
wow.
And I guess there's baseball fans in Australia. I know there's some because they got the World Baseball Classic team. So
I think baseball is becoming it already is a national game. We got the WBC, but as we see more of these players, right, make an impact here and become Hall of Famers or All-Stars, I think it's becoming even more so, right? Even in countries like you said, obviously Dominican Republic, Cuba, Latin America, but there's been double-digit pros from Australia and other countries, right? So I think it's growing, right? And as baseball grows, I think the demand for your game will grow right along with it. So if for anyone that missed where you can get the game, it'll be in the episode notes as well. So if you missed that, just click there, and it'll take you to the game site And it sounds like a great game, guys. And again, kudos to you, and thanks for making some time for us here. And it's part of the hobby because we're using real baseball cards. So the game is a hopefully becomes a hobby staple and part of the hobby.
That would be such a delight for us to think that we made some sort of impact on it, and if just in a little way, being taking a new joy out of something you already own and a little extra something out of it would be awesome. Like that would really bring a lot of joy to our hearts, that people could use baseball cards in a new joyous way.
It gives them a second life. Like we talk about some of those, it gives them a second life, right? And that's always good. Well, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right. Once again, thank you to Matthew and Garrett Weaver, creators of Baseball Card General Manager. $35. The website's in the show notes. If you want to grab yourself a game, it can be played, on the road, at home, at a card show. It doesn't take up a ton of space, just a small table. And, if you're a baseball fan or a card collector, you can use your cards. How cool is that? So check out what they're doing. The game's already won a few awards already. And I think it's great. So check out their creation, which I think will provide some family entertainment.
Time for our Hobby is the People Announcer of the Week.
This is Rob Petrozzo from Rally, reminding you that the hobby is the people. It's not any corporations or breaks. It's not even fractional companies. It's not any of that. It's people, and the people that make collecting great and make it what it is.
If you'd like to be the Hobby is the People Announcer of the Week, do a WAV or MP3 file and send it to sportscardnationpc@gmail.com.
Say goodnight, Kane.